What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As always, it's your boy, the man welding, and got a little repair job to check out. All right, so as you guys know, I'm a welding instructor at a trade school. It's summer, and the county that I work in, the police department, has this trailer and it's got some issues, and they dropped it off and they need me to fix it. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I'm talking about. The rear door here has completely snapped off. The metal. So essentially what caused this failure is two things. First and foremost, whoever manufactured this trailer only used 1/16 inch thick material. For such a heavy door, that's just probably not thick enough. You know, I think it should have been a minimum of 1/8 inch, maybe even a 1/4 inch would have been a whole lot better. And the other problem is, as you can see on the hinges here, this right here, that's a grease point. It's very obvious by looking at it that these hinges were never greased. So what happened was, essentially they rusted shut and they wouldn't hinge like they're supposed to. And when the door came down, the weight of that door and the fact that those hinges didn't hinge just essentially sheared the welds off. The welds never got good penetration. For the repair is I'm gonna come in here and mark out some straight lines and cut these 4 sections out where those hinges were. And I'm gonna replace it with 3-inch angle iron, probably 1/8 inch material. And then I'm gonna fabricate all new hinges. And from there, we'll get the door prepped up. We'll weld the new hinges onto the door. And then I'm gonna have to come over here and I'm gonna have to weld some D-rings onto the front on the top of this door. So that way we can use straps in the forklift to lift this whole door up, swing it over here, get it in place, line these new hinges up with the with the bottom of the trailer down here. And once I got it where I want it, I'll come in and I'll tack weld all those hinges to the trailer. From there, we'll go ahead and test the door out, make sure that it works, and then weld it out. We got this door posted up on a table, brought it into the shop. And as you can see, the next step here, gotta come in, either take a grinder and a cutoff wheel or a torch or a plasma cutter, whatever your preferred method is, and go ahead and get these hinges cut off. And then you can see where one of them broke off. We're just gonna come in, clean that up with a grinder, get the metal nice and shiny and clean. I wanna cut these with the oxyacetylene torch. Hinges are cut off, went pretty smooth. Next step is I'm gonna run up to the metal supplier and get the material that I need to fabricate some new hinges. All right, so I stopped by the metal supplier. They had the stuff I needed for the hinges. Gotta wait a couple of days for the angle to come in, but in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and start cutting out these damaged sections. There was 2 spots where it was welded to the frame. So I'll have to get in there, clean that up just a little bit more. My new fresh material right here. And I got my handy dandy Ellis bandsaw. All right, so nothing to it, guys. Just pull some measurements, get everything cut, get everything prepped. scratch start TIG, 140 amps, running about, you know, 25 CFH, just a standard collet body, number 8 cup, 332nd tungsten. I got my part fixtured up here in a little vise. Nothing too special, guys. So let's go ahead and start running these parts. Welding those hinges. I'm still waiting on my angle to come in from the supplier. It won't be here till tomorrow. So I'm at a bit of a standstill. Now what else I can do for the rest of the day is I gotta come over here and on the top of this door, I gotta weld on some hooks, some lifting straps, because like I mentioned earlier, this door is so heavy that in order to get it in place, to weld it back on, we're gonna need to utilize the forklift and some straps. So I need to weld on some lifting lugs onto this door. So that's something I can do today. I don't necessarily know what material I'm gonna use. I'll just look around the shop. Don't forget, guys, whenever you're welding, whenever you're fabricating, get you an energy drink, stay caffeinated, all right? That's a major key. All right, so walk with me. We're gonna go take a peek in the scrap bin and see if we got anything that is suitable for what we're trying to do. Okay, that ain't gonna work. Let's check the material cart. Yeah, nothing good, nothing good. So what, oh, I see something. I see something that might work very well. Our old friend, Mr. Rebar. When all else fails, grab some rebar. Check it out, guys. Went ahead and cut that piece of rebar in half, and now I'm gonna bend it. You might be thinking to yourself, Steven, how are you gonna bend it? Well, let me inform you. This little rod right here, this is a 6010. This right here, a little piece of crap pipe I pulled out of the scrap bin. This right here, oxyacetylene torch. This right here, Miller welder. Okay, all pieces of equipment that you should be familiar with. This is some down and dirty, fucking just get it done style fabrication. All right, so essentially what I'm about to do is I'm going to tack this piece of pipe here and here, tack it to the table. Then I'm gonna take this piece of rebar right here and I'm gonna tack it. I'm gonna take that torch, I'm gonna heat it up, and I'm gonna bend it around that pipe. And then I'm gonna cut the ends off and I'm gonna have myself some little lifting hooks. All right, it's down and dirty, guys, but it gets the job done and it's gonna work. Traditionally, when you're using an oxyacetylene torch to bend a piece of metal around a piece of pipe that's tacked to a steel table, you would use what's known as a rosebud tip. This is a cutting tip. I don't have a rosebud. Try to heat it up as evenly as I can with a cutting torch tip. And then I'm gonna grab something, you know, this, whatever, and just bend it around that pipe and let it cool. It's really nothing to it, guys. So let's go ahead and get it. Holy shit. Well, if you guys want to know the truth, that was kind of difficult. All right. But we got it done. One down, one to go. Just went ahead and got all the paint and rust ground off of these sections that I cut out. So here's the update. Turns out where I'm at here locally, no one stocks 3-inch angle. So what I just ended up doing, because I'm sick and tired of waiting and calling all these different places and no one having what I need, I just went ahead and bought some 3 by 1/8 inch flat bar and some 1.5 by 1.5 by 1/8 inch angle. And what I did is I'm basically just kind of custom fabricating these little insert pieces. So I already went ahead and measured all the gaps, cut everything, and now I'm gonna go ahead and weld all this stuff together. Our 4 insert pieces fabricated right here. This is how they look. But while I was prepping this area here, I noticed that because this is so thin, even once I replace all this stuff, this right here is like liable to snap off. So I decided it would probably be smart if we get down here and look. I ran a piece of angle all along the back, and I'm gonna go ahead and weld that on just to provide some additional support. Otherwise, this thing's liable to just to break again. About to put these in. Last thing I'm gonna do before I do that though, is I'm gonna take this flapper pad and I'm just gonna soften up that corner so it doesn't fight me when I'm fitting these up, because I pulled the measurements and made it nice and tight. So just take that grinder and soften all those corners. Okay, so we just got everything tacked in. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. So let's go ahead and weld it out. Let's see if it's sturdy. Oh yeah, nice and sturdy. I went ahead, welded those D-rings on that we made out of that rebar. And then I came over here and we got this area all prepped up. So next step is to come and weld part of those hinges onto these doors, onto this door, and then get it outside, get it strapped up with a forklift, and start fitting it onto the trailer so that we can go ahead and get the rest of the hinges welded onto the trailer. And then once we got everything tacked up nice and strong where we want it, we're confident that it's gonna work. We test it, we make sure it's gonna work, then weld it out. Time to weld this piece of pipe on to the door. And this is gonna act as the centerpiece for the hinges. Now, as you can see, where I had cut these off previously with the torch, it's slightly recessed. And then this one snapped off, so it's pretty substantially recessed. So before I weld these on, I gotta go ahead and build all this back up with weld metal. I think they'll hold. All right, so now all that's left to do is the fun part. I'm gonna scoot this table outside, hook it up to the forklift, and we'll go ahead and test fit it and see how she looks. Guys, just finished up the job, got it welded out, cut off the lifting straps. It is completely done. Let's take a look at it. All right, so all in all, not bad. Appreciate you watching. I hope you learned something, and as always, stay safe. Love you guys. Catch you on the next one.